Okay, 27-20 is confirmed for the first round. 20 seconds, and we'll be going. Guys, again, appreciate everyone for bearing with us. But we're about to start. Rise versus CoSA. First round going on right now. Predictions in chat if you want. I'm sticking with 4-1, Rise winning. Spartan thinks CoSA is going to be able to take a second round, but we're going to see 5 seconds, and we will be underway. Here we go, boys. Stealth Blast coming out from Rise. CoSA moving forward, as they don't have the Stealth Blast. That Weaver. Putting some pressure out, maybe. Well, the Rev's doing some pressures. Well, that Condi Thief actually going very low from Rise's side. Early bubble coming out from Rise. Not sure that's really going to do a lot, though. Rise doesn't have much follow-up on it. Although a couple CoSA players now split from the rest of their stack. And there's the bubble from CoSA. Second bubble coming out from Rise. That Condi Thief now going to drop. He's all the way in the back line. Looks like that Herald is going to get him. Another bubble coming out from Rise. That Herald very, very low. No one downstate, though. There's another bubble coming out from CoSA. That Rev going downstate. Another bubble coming out from Rise, though. That's going to be their third bubble. On top of that down, it is going to confirm the down is worth it. Now 2 downstates from CoSA. And maybe possibly even a third downstate. A lot of pressure coming out onto CoSA. Rise is pushing straight onto them now. Full melee ball. Keeping that pressure up. Keeping that sustain going. 4 down from CoSA. 1 trying to self-res. Don't think that's going to be able to do anything, though. CoSA downstate all over the arena. That's got to be GG. No GG call coming out, but I can't imagine that Rise is going to keep going. They're just stacking off to the side, and that's going to be first round going to Rise.
Very convincing first round. CoSA had nearly no pressure the entire time, and they are playing with absolutely no stuff. So they're playing this pretty fucked from the start, especially since engages are so important in this meta. They literally automatically lose engage just because of their comp. So I would have liked to see CoSA turn around and counter pressure after that first bubble. That first bubble didn't catch anybody right at the start, so they kind of just moved out of it with no pressure. So if CoSA was able to turn around and spike the area, then maybe they would have produced some downs, but CoSA just continued to play defensive even when they didn't need to. And then they were forced to play defensive the whole round.
Yeah, pretty good bubbles from both groups, I think. I think Rise's were a little bit more on point. I think Rise had the first bubble as well, but I could be wrong there. It might have been CoSA's first bubble. Either way, that first bubble was pretty good. Very early. Good early aggression. But CoSA definitely got way too split very early on. And something that you mentioned as well, CoSA playing without stealth, playing with this Weaver and the Revenants as well, I think they definitely want to try and play a little bit more defensively. Try and kite the stealth out from Rise if they can. Try and just kite Rise out in general. And apply that Weaver range DPS, the Revenant range DPS, and definitely try not to get too split, because when their melee group gets so split from their range, those ranged players really don't have a lot of options. They don't, they're not going to have a lot of room to maneuver around. But we'll see if they're going to be able to change that up next round. We are going in 5 seconds, just about 24:30 on my food. Round number 2, Rise is up 1-0 over CoSA. Let's see what happens here. Smoke blast coming out from Rise. CoSA again being very aggressive on this engage, moving straight forward into Rise. Range pressure coming out from those Revenants, but they're straight on top of each other. There's the first bubble coming out from Rise. Now this is really good position for Rise to be in. And from 1 down, 2 down inside those bubbles coming out from CoSA. Second bubble, great bubble coming out there from Rise. Another bubble going to be coming out from CoSA as well, but not sure that's going to be enough. 1 downstate actually from Rise, Scourge, but he's going to be rallied. Couple downstates caught behind from CoSA. CoSA again looking very split at the moment. Not exactly sure what their game plan here is, but Rise just running away with this round. Just running down those scattered players from CoSA. Basically just mowing them over. Looks like they're already going back to their spawn. Jarvan maybe going to 1v6 the rest of the CoSA players, but I can't imagine that CoSA has any way for them to come back from this. That's got to be GG. Everyone from Rise looking very healthy. Everyone from CoSA looking very dead. So that's going to be round number 2 going to Rise. Again, I don't really understand what CoSA's plan here is, pushing straight into a stealth Rise with a lot of ranged players. I don't think that's the way for them to play this comp at all.
I'd like to see CoSA start off slow, just spread out their marks, because they have those stealth already. They might as well just put their marks all over the back, have their 3 Hammer Revenants try to reveal with Hammer 3. And yeah, just like completely cover up the field, so that they don't have to go anywhere. They know where Rise is coming from, instead of pushing into Rise, making Rise's job even easier.
The bubbles there from Rise as well. Certainly, I'd say way better than CoSA's. I mean, CoSA's first bubble was pretty much just full defensively. maybe even a panicky bubble on top of themselves as Rise push into them. But again, immediately, as soon as well, I mean, again, first things first, they just push straight into Rise as Rise stealths. Not sure what the plan there is. And then as soon as Rise gets on top of them, they pull back into a corner. Rise's 2 bubbles get straight on top of CoSA, and they basically just scatter. And Rise is fine with that. They pick up the kills they got from the bubbles. They pick up the kills that are scattered around, and then they just start training people down as a tight melee group. And
one thing that Rise
is doing anything to stop that.
Yeah, one thing that Rise is doing poorly, which CoSA could potentially figure out a way to take advantage of, is Rise uses every single one of their bubbles within the first 30 seconds of the match. So if CoSA could survive till all the bubbles are gone, then that evens out the playing field. But currently, they're not lasting long enough to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. I think that CoSA really just needs to play more defensively. But either way, a couple seconds till the 3rd round goes. There's the smoke blasts coming out from Rise. Number 3 again. CoSA being a little bit more defensive here, empowering. There's going to be that Spellbreaker on top of them. Going to go for that early bubble. Not sure if they're going to be able to stop him. There is that bubble from Rise, but not too many people from CoSA.
One down from Rise.
One down state from Rise. That's going to be a Spellbreaker. Can they keep pressure on him? That's going to be a bubble from CoSA as well. This could be the round that CoSA needs. However, they're pushed into a corner. They need to push Rise
bubble coming
back.
Down from Rise.
Great bubble coming out from Rise there. Absolutely.
2
Another
more
bubble
bubbles
coming out from Rise. And CoSA is now in serious trouble. There's caught in a corner. There's 5 down states on the ground. Transfused into a bubble now. That's going to be the last bubble from Rise on top of them. On top of all these down states. CoSA can't go anywhere. They can't put any pressure onto Rise. Rise looking absolutely healthy. Absolutely fine. Not a problem at all for them. And that was Rise after the first 10 seconds, 100% of the way. I mean...
That was better.
I don't think it was at all.
They downed the Warrior. The Hammer Revenants just focused the Warrior that was off in Africa, and they just downed him. But the problem is they're still not putting down any marks at the... They still have no idea where Rise is coming from, and they have no way of slowing them down. Like, that was a good plan to down the Warrior before the Warrior even got to him. But they didn't do anything about it.
No, I mean, I like... that they stayed back a little bit. They didn't push straight into Rise's spawn. You know, they were able to keep some room in between themselves and Rise at the beginning. That first Spellbreaker from Rise that went in, CoSA was able to pressure him. They didn't really get caught in that bubble, but as soon as that bubble went down, Rise pushed straight in, and from that moment, CoSA didn't do a single thing to stop them. They had a bubble come down, but they only had 1, and they're running how many Spellbreakers?
CoSA? 2.
2. So I mean, you know, I didn't see the second bubble coming down. Again, there does not seem to be the range pressure that you would expect from a comp running Revenants and a Staff Weaver onto Rise. You know, I mean, we're really only seeing 1, maybe 2 down states at most from Rise's side, and there's not much pressure on those down states either. So CoSA definitely needs to figure something out, and they only have 1 more round to do it. Rise is 3-0 over CoSA at the moment. Match point for Rise. If they win another round, that's it. GvG over. CoSA is out of the tournament. So they've got to figure something out very quick if they want to stay in this.
I don't see the Weaver doing anything, personally. I would love to see... Are you allowed in this tournament to swap certain people out and all the things in?
Yeah, of course. Mid-round. Not mid-round, but, you know, in between rounds, yeah, you can swap.
Yeah, then I'd love to see them just take out the Weaver and put in a Thief instead, and then just have Stealth at the start.
Yeah, you know, they might not be as experienced with blasting stealth. Some guilds don't ever really use it. That's fair, fortunately, but who knows? Can't really say for sure. How many bubbles does Rise have? Rise has 3 bubbles. I think probably Spartan called that there was a bubble, and I called it as well. Oh, 4th round going. That's my bad. 4th round going. What could be the last round as well? Rise versus CoSA. Rise up 3-0. Rise pushing very aggressively onto CoSA. There's going to be that first bubble coming out from Rise. CoSA
2 down already.
Caught into a corner. The second bubble is going to be actually CoSA's, but there's a second bubble from Rise as well. Rise actually has a couple pretty low Scourges. 2 of them could be very dangerously low. Could be in going at a down state, but they're going to get healed up. And again, Rise just training these CoSA players out. There's no pressure onto Rise. Last bubble coming out from Rise is going to finish these healthy players off. 1 more in down state. This Herald is not really doing anything in the back. 4 or 5 downstate from CoSA, and that's going to be the GG call. That's 4-0 Rise. And Rise easily walking away with this GvG. Not what I was expecting at all, unfortunately. I mean, I was expecting Rise to win, but I did not expect it to be this easy for them. Not losing a single player in all 4 rounds. Team Rise, indeed, as they're going to take this GvG in a full-on sweep. Someone asking for a couple more rounds. Interesting enough.